Alright, in this video we're going to be going over the Unit 1 Quiz 3 review. Now I have been told by some students that I do talk fast in these videos, and the reason I do that is so this video won't be like 40 minutes long. So I'm trying to be a good steward of your time. So if I'm going too fast, obviously back up or set the speed to like 1.25 or something. Alright, so let's get started. All right, so question number one, we've seen many times using a 5 by foot square, and you are solving in terms of E. So the words solving in terms of E should be a dead giveaway. So that's going to be E over 25 is equal to X over 50 times 75, which I believe is going to be 3750. And when I cross multiply, I get 25x is equal to 3,750e. So when I divide by 25, I get 150e. All right, for question number two, it says continue from the previous question. And that is, if Carl discovered that he could fit 8 people in the square, how many people could fit in the room? Well, you already know 8 is going to be in place for E, so you can easily just do a simple little 8 over 25 is equal to X over 3750. You can do that formula, or what I would just recommend you do, and that is just take 8, plug it in for E. So I'm going to try to do this in green here just so it kind of stands out. So 150 times 8, do the math, and you get 1,200. There you go. All right, question number 3. Find the aspect ratio of a rectangular table that measures 12 inches in length and 9 inches in width. Now, this is an aspect ratio, which means your answer is going to have a colon. So it's going to be, if you remember, width, dot, dot, height, which is dot, dot is colon. So we start off with 12, colon 9, but it is going to be reduced. So 12 over 9, I'm sorry, you're probably screaming at the screen right now. The width is 9 and the width is 12. I'm sorry, the width is 9 and the height is 12. Okay, or the length. All right, so you're going to take that and you're going to reduce it to its lowest form, which would be 3/4. Okay. All right, for question number 4, it says if a tire has a rim size of 22 inches, and here we go, a circumference of 87.92. All right, so if you remember from yesterday, and that was whenever you have these questions where I'm already giving you the circumference first, the first thing you need to do is find the height. All right, so you're going to find the height by taking the circumference, whatever it is, and divide it by 3.14. All right, so 87.92, I'm just going to do this off to the side, 87.92, I'm going to divide that by 3.14. And so when I do that, I end up getting 28, I believe. So we have 28 inches. All right, that's our first step. Let me check that real quick. All right, now I need some room to write. Remember, visualize the problem here. So I'm just going to write down here. Draw a donut. All right, now of course when I say donut, I mean tire. And what this does, it allows me to see everything. All right, so I have a 28 inches in height, and let's see, and the rim size is 22. So the rim size is 22. And I'm looking for my sidewall height. Now remember, x plus 22 plus x gives me 28. Now this is mental math, but let's say you're not good at mental math. So off to the side here, I'm going to write, okay, 2x plus 22 is equal to 28. Subtract 22, subtract 22. You get 2x is equal to 6. X is equal to 3. All right. Now remember to always check your work. So if this was 3, if this was 3, so 3 plus 22, does that give me 28? Check. Yes, it does. Life is good. Move on. All right, look at question number 5. If the tire had a sidewall height of 6.25 inches and a rim height of 15, find the overall height of the tire. Now, what might confuse you on this, it has nothing about the circumference, but it already gave you what the sidewall is, and it already gave you what the rim is. All right, so again, draw a picture. So draw a picture, 6.25, 6.25, rim is 15. I'm looking for the height. Well, heck, everything's solved here. So all I got to do is just add those three numbers together. That was easy. 27.5. All right. Now, if a tire has a sidewall height of 3.15, oh, here we go. Another circumference question. All right. So circumference, there we go. I'm going to divide that by 3.14, and I'm going to draw my tire as a purple tire. Looks more like an egg, but we'll go with it. The overall height ends up being, let's see, what is that, 27, I believe? 27 inches. And it says the sidewall height is 3.5, which means down here is 3.5. I'm looking for X. Well, X is the only thing I need to solve for. I'm just going to take 27 and subtract out the 3.5s. And when I do that, I get an overall height of 20. There we go. That's how easy it is. All right, next question. Oh, another tire question. All right. Now, what I do just to be on the safe side, I go ahead and just draw my tire. Again, it just helps me out figuring things out. All right, so we have the width of the tire. Remember, the width is always the very first number, which is 205. The aspect ratio is always the second number, which is 65%. And lastly, the R15, that is the rim. So 3 out of the 7 blanks are already given to you. All right, now, the height of one sidewall. Well, if you remember, you take the 205, times it by 65% to get that. So if you need to see the work, 205 times 0.65, that gives you 133.3 millimeters. Well, we don't work with millimeters. We need to convert that to inches. Now, I gave this over here. Remember the infamous 25.4? So I'm going to take whatever answer, which is 133.3. I'm going to divide that by 25.4, and I get a sidewall height of 5.2 inches. Now, again, I drew this donut to help me out. 5.2, 5.2. The rim height is 15. All right. Now, the reason why I always like to draw a picture is because for some odd reason, students get stuck here. They just like, I don't know where to go. Well, if you draw a picture like so, you know exactly what you need to do to find the height. Add up all of this information. So when I add up all this information, I get a grand total of 25.4 inches. Now lastly, find the circumference of the tire. Notice again what I gave you. I gave you the circumference of the tire formula. 3.14 times the height. Well, the height is 25.4, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, 25.4 times that by 3.14. The circumference is 79.8. There we go. That's how easy it is. Moving on. Under the circumference from the previous question, so that means we're going to continue. If the tire was under warranty at 50,000 miles, how many times would the tire have to rotate until the tire was out of warranty? So basically going back, and I've done this in class before, so forgive me for doing it in here or in this video, and that is the wheels on the bus go round and round. All right, that old song, we're trying to figure out how many times does this tire need to go round and round and round. Okay, now I did this in class, so you should remember, and that is what you have to do first is take the miles and convert it to inches. All right. Now, in order to convert it to inches, you have to do one side step, which means convert it to feet first and then go to inches. Okay. Now, in class, I gave you the measurements, and that is 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is take my 50,000 miles, and I need to times it by 5,280. And what that's going to do is going to give me all the feet, but I'm not done yet. I need to convert now my feet to inches. And if you remember, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. All right, I had to answer the door. Someone knocked. All right, so I think I stopped at 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So I need to take the number of feet that I have and times it by 12 inches. Okay, and that will give me how many inches I need. All right, so I'm just going to go way down here. I'm going to go way down here. The number of inches, and hopefully your calculator is big enough for this, I believe is I want to say that's 168,000,000 inches. And I'm going to divide that by, if you notice, going all the way back up, it's a continuation, 79.8. I'm going to divide that by 79.8. And when I do that, the tire, remember, going back to the wheels on the bus go around and around. Well, they would have to go 39,699,248 times in order to go 50,000 miles. All right, so again, wheels on the bus go around and around. Well, they're going around and around, all right, 39 million times. All right, question number 9. For a social gathering for a small town, can you fit 310 in the city hall gathering room if, oh, here we go, each person, that's 1, needs 9.5. All right, so this is a people over space situation. Now again, practice. This 310 you're not dealing with right now. 1 over 9.5 is equal to x over 50 times 57. Let's see. 50 times 57. That gives you 2,850. Cross multiply. And when you solve, you find out that the room has a max of 300 people. 300 people max. Can't go bigger. But if you notice, you need space for 310 people. But the room only has a max of 300. So can you fit 310 in that room? The answer is no. No, I cannot. It's not big enough. All right. Question number 10. Bill bought a new truck and he replaced the factory tires with new aftermarket ones. His factory tires had a circumference of 79.5 and his new aftermarket tires have a size of 255/50/18. Now, this is the tricky one about this one. I'll probably only ask you this on the review, and that is you've got to take this right here and you need to find the circumference. All right, which means the width of the tire, the aspect ratio, you know, all those blanks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got to find the circumference of the tire. Now, because of time, the circumference of the tire ends up being about 88 inches. All right. So when you're trying to find K, and I went ahead and gave you a hint, find the circumference of the aftermarket tires first. Remember, K is the larger tire over the smaller tire. All right, well, the larger tire is 88 inches. The smaller tire is 79.5. So divide that out, and K ends up being 1.11. Now, this was pretty much the easiest thing that we did when it comes to tires. And that is, according to Bill's odometer, he traveled 80,000 miles. Well, how far did Bill actually go? Well, you have K times it by 80,000, 1.11, and you get 88,800 miles. He's actually going 45 miles per hour. Again, you have K times this by 1.11, and you get pretty much as close as you can get to 50 miles per hour. All right. Oh goodness, you are standing on the sidewalk, one of these guys. All right, for the first 10 minutes, 110 people. Remember, 110, that's what you start with. It decreases by 20%. So off to the side, I'm going to say 110 times 20%. That gives me 22. And then I'm going to go back and subtract. So that gives me 88. Next, this rate decreases by 50%. Well, now it's the 88 that gets decreased by 50%. It gives me 44. I subtract. 88 minus 44 is 44. Now notice this rate gets decreased by 50%. So again, 44 is my new rate. 44 times 50% equals 22. Subtract, you get 22. So once you do all that, you simply just multiply. So I'm going to take 110 times it by 10. I'm going to take 88 times it by 3, 44 times it by 2, 22 times it by 5. So when I get all those numbers, 1,110, 264, 88, and then 110. Add them all up, 1,562. All right. Now, question number 12 is something that we haven't necessarily done in class, but we've answered several questions very similar to that. All right, so it says the computer monitor has an aspect ratio of 12.5. Now, let me clean this up a little bit so I can write here. Now, remember when I give you the aspect ratio, it's always the width, dot, dot, the height. So I'm going to create a proportion width over height, which means I'm going to take the aspect ratio 12 over 5. And the height of the monitor is 13 inches. So I'm putting the height on the bottom. It's equal to 13 with an X on top. Simple proportion question. Cross multiply and solve. You get a grand total of 31.2 inches. Question number 13. If 11 people can fit in a 6 by 6 foot square, how much space does one person need? Well, this is another people over space. We've already dealt with these, several of these now. 11 over 36. How much space does one person need? One person over X. Cross multiply and solve. You get 3.3. All right, last page. Up in North Georgia mountains, how many phone numbers are possible using the area code 706? Now, if you remember, phone numbers, scroll back up here. Phone numbers, it says right here, phone numbers, 7 blanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says the first digit cannot be 0 through 9 or 0 through 5. So that means it's a 6 through 9 situation. 6, 7, 8, 9, 4. The second and third numbers cannot be a 0. So that means the second number is a 1 through 9 situation. The third number is 1 through 9. 9, 9. There are no restrictions on these last 4. So that's a 0 through 9 situation for all of them. 10, 10, 10, 10. You do the math, 3,240,000. Very simple. Continue from the previous question. Using the answer from the following questions, how many total numbers would be available? Here we go. If 4 area codes were used, 4 area codes, we take it, we times that by 4. Because the area code allows phone numbers to be used more than once. So that means it, in this case, quadruples the amount of possibilities. 12,960,000. Question number 16. Box Incorporated is upgrading the security. All employees will be issued a new ID card. The ID cards will have a, here we go, 5-character barcode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I know I have to put something in those blanks. That's why you draw blanks. The code will contain 4 letters, but notice the restriction A through G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's 7. That's 7 possibilities. 7, 7, 7, 7, and then 1 digit, 1 through 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 possibilities. Now, here we go. If the digit could be anywhere, hint, hint, anywhere, you're going to times it by 5 because there's 5 blanks. And you get 60,025 possibilities. And lastly, question number 17, we did this yesterday. If the following TV has a size of 32 inches and an aspect ratio of 16:9. Now, this is going to be one of those questions where once you start seeing me do it, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. The size is 32. Now, once I start highlighting it, it should come. All right, there we go. There's the height. There's the width. All right, there we go. We have our right triangle. And if you remember, you take the aspect ratio and apply it 16x, 9x to the diagram. All right, remember the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So that will be 9x squared in parentheses plus 16x squared is equal to 32 squared. You're going to square 9 in the x, which gives you 81x squared plus 16 squared is 256x squared, and then 1024. You're going to combine these like terms. 337x squared is equal to 1024. Then I'm going to divide by 337. And when I do that, from my experience, once students see me do this one time, even my most struggling math students, they tend to remember this. So x squared is equal to 304. I got to d square the x by square rooting. X is equal to 1.74. Okay. Now you're not done because you need to take the 1.74 and apply it to the width and the height. Now you already did all the heavy lifting. So to find the actual width, let's do this in blue so it stands out. Just take 16 and times it by, what was that? 1.74. 1.74. And you got a width of 27.8 inches. Same thing for the height. 9 times 1.74. Oh, squeeze it in there. And you have a height of 15.7 inches. And that's it. That's the review. Hopefully you found it to be somewhat helpful. Feel free to back up, watch it again, or just ask me questions. Thank you for watching.